Hello viewers, it's your girl Ruby Fangirl, and we finally made it to the end of 2024. Or if you're watching this like tomorrow, I hope you guys had a happy new year and welcome to 2025. So for the last video for 2024, I thought it would be like the right time to talk about personally one of my favorite animes, and it's called Your Name. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a brief synopsis of this, because for any anime viewers out there, you probably know what this movie is, because it's like one of the most popular anime movies out there. Just to clarify, I did watch both the Japanese and the dub version, because the dub version was because I was in transition college and I was in the club and stuff like that. But for the most part, I mostly watched the Japanese version, which I highly recommend, because I usually watch the dub versions when it comes to animation specifically, because unlike live action, that's just kind of weird when they're in dub version. That's just my opinion. That's why I like Godzilla movies in Japanese dub. So the whole plot of this movie is just basically a body switch thing. You kind of know what it is. So basically they switch bodies in different places, because the story follows with Misaha, a country girl way out in somewhere in Japan, and Taki, who lives in the city, mostly in Tokyo, and they keep on switching places because it's think of what's that movie called? I think it's called Freaky Friday. You know, the one with Lindsay Lohan in it? Yeah, that one. But however, unlike the other movies that they just switch once and they learn a lesson by the end, but in this movie they actually switch places all the time. Because at first they think it's a dream and they can do whatever they want. Only later on they both realize this wasn't actually a dream. They're actually switching places, which is hilarious. And because I just think that concept is just really funny. Because it does get boring when you hear the same thing over and over again, but this is the only case that they actually change it up a bit. And it's about the relationship between the two, even though at the beginning they hate each other, obviously, because they're switching bodies and not really respecting their own boundaries. Because when Taki's in the body of Mitsuha, he's basically making her stand up for herself with her bullies and stuff like that, and she doesn't want that because she's horrified. I mean, hey, I would be horrified too. But when Mitsuha is in Taki's body, she basically just goes out buying more money and not doing great at the job and stuff like that, and tries to basically lift up his boss's crush, but I mean, sure, he does like her, but he didn't want romantic involvement with her, but because why not? Anyway, but later on it was revealed that the reason why they kept switching bodies was because 3 years ago Misaha was trying to find Taki, but at the time he didn't know who she was, and when she left the train, she basically tried to tell her what he was telling her, what's your name and stuff like that, and she had them I think it's called the bracelet. They say something in the movie what it's called, that I forgot what it was called, but it does play somewhat of an importance when it comes to bonding. And then 3 years later the body switching starts because they have in Misaha's side, they do some kind of ritual that each generation switches bodies and stuff like that. But over time they're gonna forget about it and stuff like that. That was explained about with the grandmother, because she realized that at the climax of the movie she realized that this is not her daughter or granddaughter. I mean, it's actually the other person in Taki's body. It really took her to the end of the movie to finally realize that part, and never said that to him/her, because Taki was in that body during the climax. The reason why I say conflict, because massive spoiler, because I'm pretty sure you don't know what the movie is if you haven't seen this movie, because as it turns out, Misaha was already dead because of a comet that fell up and landed into the city, and she was one of the victims that tragically passed away. And it really took Taki 3 years to realize that what he was talking to was a ghost. So yeah, I know, given this is anime, it does get kind of confusing when you think about it too much, but he decides to go to like to the mountain, like where like the ritual is, like drinks like I think it's Misaha's like because they did like a ritual like at the beginning of the movie, like he drinks it and wishes like just to meet Mitsuha at least one last time to help her out, and he does, and he tries to convince everyone that don't go like, to the festival because otherwise you're gonna die. But even though they did come up with a plan, he sort of realized that yeah, he's not the person that's supposed to be doing this. Rather, it's Misaha. So he goes up like until like the mountain, and that is when Misaha wakes up in Taki's body. She walks up like to the mountain and realized, yeah, this whole entire time she was already dead and was completely shocked that her town has been destroyed. I mean, that is normal, like if you wake up in another person's body and see like the area that you lived in and you also died in that area. That's kind of terrifying when you think about it too much. And then like both Misaha and Taki meet together, and it's just really nice to see them together because even though they haven't split up, you still feel like that connection between the two characters. That's something I do really like because it's not like kind of forced in. It's just genuine and really nice. and if you guys know it, you probably know the rest. Misaha actually like stops it and literally saves everyone thanks to Taki and stuff like that, and it finally ends with both Misaha and like Taki meeting with each other years later, and just ends with "What's your name?" I'm like, come on! We just waited for this moment for them to be together, and that's how it ends. But whatever, it's a movie, whatever. But because overall, I love this movie. And I'd like to know for you guys, what do you guys think of like this movie? Would you like to see it? Do you really like the concept of the movie? I would like to know in the comments below. And oh boy, next year / this year, depending on when you're watching this, will be such a great time. Although that there will be definitely some changes and I do have some ideas, I'll review that like at some point, like probably like in a couple of months or something like that. So please comment, like, and subscribe, and enjoy the new year, or a happy new year, depending on when you're watching this. And I'll see you guys in the next video!